This meeting is being recorded.
All right, awesome. So you should be all set. Did you need anything else from me?
No, thank you so much, Josh.
Yep, no problem. If anything comes up, feel free to give me a call.
All right.
Have a good night.
Bye, thanks. Hi, Melissa.
Hi, good evening. How are you?
Okay. I left you a voicemail this afternoon. I don't know if you got it. Did you? Okay.
I did. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Yeah, we saw the agenda, and thank you so much for putting this on the agenda and hearing us out tonight.
Here, Rob Batista is coming. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, my only concern is whether we're going to have a quorum or not.
Okay. All right.
It's hard. It's hard getting. All right. That light doesn't look good back there. I haven't done one of these meetings in daylight savings time yet.
Yeah, the weather, it's so surprising this weekend that it's going to be so warm.
I know, after today, 53 degrees, I got a scarf on. I mean, I didn't want to put the heat on in the house, but I've been cold all day, so. Hello, Rob. Oh, not Rob. Who is it? Hi.
Hi.
I think Pat's going to join us, but I don't. Again, I don't know about my committee. Kevin said he would be here.
Mm-hmm.
I have
How many do you need for a quorum?
3.
3.
And I've heard from Nicole that she's not coming, and Maureen is in Utah and is going to try to call in, but
okay.
You know, I don't know how I mean, it's 3 hours different there, so I don't know how she's on vacation, so whether that is going to fit her schedule or not. And then I haven't heard from, well, Pat's here. I haven't heard from Lauren. So.
What happens if if you can't obtain a quorum for this evening? Does it get pushed to the next?
Yeah, we can't vote on, we can't vote on anything. And I know what I've done on some of these meetings is at least gone ahead and talked about stuff.
Okay.
But I recently heard the town manager discouraging another committee from doing that. That when it's not, once it's not an official meeting, if you don't have a quorum, you don't have an official meeting. And if you don't have an official meeting, you really ought not to be discussing things on the agenda, even if you're not taking action.
Okay.
Which is, I mean, I used to try to use this time at least to, just have a discussion about stuff, even if we weren't voting, but that was a good idea. I mean, he wasn't speaking to me personally, but it was another committee that was trying to do something similar. And the other, Pat, I was just saying, Kevin told me he's going to be on, but he's the only one for sure. Maureen is in Utah and will try to call in, but I haven't heard from Lauren, and Nicole is not going to be here, so we'll see what happens. The other thing I just want to mention is, I don't know, I talked to, just so you are both aware, Peter Columbotos this afternoon, and he thinks that the abandonment issue may come up next Wednesday.
Oh.
So.
Okay, thank you.
Pat, how was the BIA meeting?
I was unsuccessful getting into it.
Oh,
There was, Mary Lee sent out a document, but it didn't have a link on it.
oh.
So I tried to go directly to Zoom and I had copied down all the numbers and I still couldn't get in. So I just,
Laura
'cause
is here. Oh, great. Thank you, Laura.
Hi.
Glad to see you. All right, well, you know what I'm gonna do is, Kevin says he's in the CPC meeting tonight, which usually, is that going on tonight? Just,
Oh, I don't know.
I didn't see an
Maybe.
announcement of that, but he said he was in that meeting. It started at 5:30, which it's usually Wednesdays and it's usually at 7. I'm gonna try to call him right now and tell him we need him for a quorum.
I don't see an agenda for it. Hmm.
Melissa, did you happen to see that strange guy on the street today?
I did, Pat. Yeah. What happened to him? Do we know?
He drove away. And I was pleased to see him wave.
Yeah. Saw him on my way home and kind of went, interesting. He
Yeah,
was like in the middle of the road.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think he was on something.
Yeah.
He was
Where's
very weird.
Kevin?
Oh, good.
Oh, you're muted.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I'm muted. Okay. Yeah, I was just leaving you a message, Kevin. Great, thank you. Yay, we have a quorum.
Hey.
Yahoo! All right. Kevin and Lauren, you can both stay on for the duration. Okay.
Yep.
Yep. All right, because there's a couple of things I really want to get to and we can take them out of order if necessary, but if you're both going to be on for the duration, this is okay. All right, so the December, no, we still can't approve the December minutes because Maureen isn't here. All right, so let's go to the February minutes. It was me, Lauren, and Maureen. No, we can't approve those either. All right.
Are we missing, do we have enough for a quorum?
Well,
Right.
we have enough for a quorum, but we don't have 3 people who were at that meeting. Lauren and I were at that meeting, but you were not. So you can't vote to approve the minutes if you weren't there. And Maureen wasn't there. Maureen isn't here tonight and Nicole isn't here, and they were both at that meeting.
I thought we could approve it if we had a quorum, even though I don't know, I thought we could still approve it if we have a quorum.
You thought you could vote on it, you mean?
We
Even if you
will,
weren't at the meeting?
yeah, like if we vote on just approving the minutes from the last meetings, I'm pretty sure we can do that.
Lauren, I know you didn't do that at a prior meeting. Did you think you couldn't? I don't really know if there's a rule about it.
In my job, we don't vote on minutes if we weren't, we abstain from voting on it. But I think, that if there's a quorum, then a vote takes place and it's just, even if it's one person in favor and then the rest abstaining, I think we would still vote on it.
Okay, All right, well then let's go ahead and do that then. Will someone make a motion to approve the minutes for the December 14th? meeting?
I move to motion to approve the minutes from December 14th.
All right, thank you. Do I have a Oh, wait, I'm sorry, that's my phone talking to me. I didn't stop my phone call with you, Kevin. You're gonna have a really long message from me.
Oh, boy.
All right,
You know, it's funny, when you were calling me, I was logging in at the same time that
Right,
you were
yes.
calling me.
I saw that, yeah. okay.
I know you were, yeah, I
All
was
right.
going as fast as I could,
So
believe me.
just delete all that. All right, so I have a motion, second. Lauren, can you second?
Yeah, I'll second it.
All right, okay, and all those in favor of approving the minutes for the December meeting? Yes, yes, yes.
Oh, we can
Well,
just
so
go
I-
down the line and say each other's name, right? And then you just say,
I'm sorry, Kevin, I can't quite hear you.
oh, we could probably just go down the line and for each person instead of doing it as a group.
Well, you can, but I mean, it doesn't really matter.
You're the chair. It's up to you.
Yeah, right. If you're in favor, say in favor.
I have to abstain because I wasn't there, so.
All right, Kevin,
Yes.
you're right, and I'm in favor. Okay, so I don't know where that leaves us, to tell you the truth, but it doesn't really matter. All right, the February 17th minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve those.
Okay. Kevin, can you second? I
I
don't think I
second.
can second. All right, okay, those minutes are approved
All right.
unanimously. All right. So now let's move on to our agenda tonight. First of all, public comment. Does anybody have anything they want to comment about? We have, let's see, oh, wait, Jean Batista is now joining. And Robert was already here, I thought. Okay, they must have got off and come back. Okay. All right, so is there any member, anyone from the public who wants to add any comments or add any, does anybody want to add anything to the agenda? Nope, okay. All right, so the new business item is from the Lake Nipponicket Action Focus Team proposal. And if Kevin and Lauren, I assume you've seen the packet of materials that went out from Josh. And he's
Yep.
a separate item today, okay, and which included the material that had been put together by Melissa. Very well done, Melissa, very thorough.
Yes.
It's good to have all that information in one place. I wish I had had it a few weeks ago when I did my letter on this item, which is coming up, but we'll get to that. You did a better job than I did. So Melissa, please tell us what it is that you are proposing and what action you would like this committee to take.
Okay, well, thank you very much. I'd like to thank the committee for hearing us tonight and thank my fellow Lake Nipponicket Action Focus Team members for their support and help in the creation of this proposal. The Lake Nipponicket Action Focus Team is seeking the support of local stakeholders and potential partners to explore via the resources of the Community Preservation Committee the potential for acquiring the entirety of approximately 2 acres of land, including 23 Lakeside Drive in Bridgewater, Mass, and adjacent parcels. The residence has been vacant since 2018 and is located next to the Lake Nipponicket boat ramp and parking lot. The residence is also adjacent to undeveloped parcels of land that run along the shoreline of Lake Nipponicket, parallel to Route 104 Pleasant Street for approximately 0.3 miles. And there was some photographs to show you the exact location of the parcel and the residence and the adjacent parcels. Lake Nipponicket is a significant natural resource for the town as well as the state. It's located within the Hockomock Swamp Wildlife Management Area and designated as an area of critical environmental concern. The area around the lake is mapped as priority habitat for rare species. The residence and land is owned by Claremont Lakeside Bridgewater. 23 Lakeside Drive has been the subject of a zoning change request from residential AB to planned development district with the intent to develop a waterfront restaurant on the property. A portion of the land is also the subject of a request for abandonment currently under review by the Town Council Community Economic Development Committee. The waterfront restaurant proposal was met with strong opposition by residents of the area. The boat ramp that is adjacent to 23 Lakeside Drive provides a great resource for those interested in fishing, kayaking, and boating. The boat ramp is largely a parking lot with a small grassy area where some sit and enjoy the scenery and sunsets. Acquisition of the adjacent parcels, including 23 Lakeside Drive, would provide residents and visitors with additional lakefront area to enjoy. This could include a pocket park with picnic tables and benches, as well as low impact walking trail along the lakefront. The other alternative would be to demolish the vacant residence and allow the land to go back to its natural state. As we gather additional feedback from stakeholders, this can be determined. The Community Preservation Committee requests that as part of its eligibility determination that a project sponsor organization be represented. The Lake Nipanicket Action Focus Team appreciates the consideration of the Open Space Committee to join us in protecting the lakefront from further development and providing greater access to Lake Nipanicket for its residents and visitors. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Melissa.
Well said.
Any questions for Melissa from the committee?
When did the building become vacant?
So it was purchased in 2018. I think I put the date. It was purchased in May, I believe May 1st, 2018. And it's my understanding that since then, there has not been anyone living there. So we're 4 years out, and the property is sitting vacant.
Okay. So 2018 is when.
Yeah, it's been there for a while. They've had it for a while. They purchased the property about 4 years ago. And then in 2020 came forward with a proposal to change the zoning from residential AB to planned development district so that they, with the intent of creating a waterfront restaurant on the site.
Yes. Yep. I've heard. I've heard of that as well. Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
Cool.
Does Claremont own additional property on that same side of the lake?
Yeah,
the
according to
shoreline?
the assessors, I did a little research, and there is some, there's a map at the end of the proposal you could take a peek at, look at the individual parcels, and pretty much that whole strip. I think maybe some of the parcels were probably part of residential properties across the street that were sold when they were bringing the land together to create the planned development district.
There are still individual homes owned by others along the lake on the shore side, right?
And that those homes start after that 0.3 mile mark.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, so there's this whole stretch of land. So the 23 Lakeside Drive is next to the boat ramp, and then there's an entire stretch of undeveloped land along the lakefront.
Hmm.
And then about a third of a mile up is the first house.
I see, okay.
So there's a little land there where, you could actually put in a very low impact walking trail, because walking on Route 104 right now is, it's, it's like a highway, and, people could get a little bit off of that highway and walk along the lakefront. What a nice
Right.
opportunity that would be.
Yeah. Okay. Anyone else, any questions or anyone else from the public who wants to comment on this? No?
Who owns the building at the moment?
Claremont.
Claremont. Oh, you must have said that already. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so that, obviously, moving forward with this, with the Community Preservation Committee, this would require having, a discussion with Claremont, who, pie in the sky, maybe would donate or perhaps sell the land to the town for preservation.
Mhm. Probably the
Melissa,
best
nothing's been
circumstance.
filed with the CPC yet. You haven't filed, or have you filed?
We haven't, because one of the part of the eligibility requirements is that we are able to work with a sponsor, which would be a town board or committee organization. So, which is why we're reaching out to you this evening.
Okay.
Yep.
Great. One of the things I just want to remind the committee about is that the February 17th minutes that we just approved, Kevin, you weren't at that meeting, but if you read the minutes, one of the things we talked about then, and it's also on the agenda for tonight, was the abandonment petition that Claremont had filed related to a certain portion of Lakeside Drive, right there next to this land that Melissa is talking about. It's a part of the road that basically has not been used, and they were asking the town to turn it over to them. That was heard by the Community and Economic Development Committee of the Town Council, and it has not been decided upon. But we talked about it at our February meeting, and one of the resolutions that we adopted related to that issue was that our committee should take action, including submission of written or oral comments for any project under review by the town council or other town committees if the project is inconsistent with natural resources protection of Lake Nipponicket, an important open space resource. So that we adopted that resolution in connection with that abandonment proposal, which we're going to talk about as the next agenda item. But I think that it's relevant to what Melissa is raising for us for our discussion now also. So
I don't know if this is a question for now or for then, but I'm curious to know if like I've seen the debates on Facebook about, the idea of a restaurant there. And obviously I think protecting our natural resources is what makes sense for the town, but has the community and economic development sort of side of Bridgewater, like, are they inclined to consider this? Like, where are they with those discussions?
yeah, so I just mentioned, Lauren, before you got on to Melissa, I think was the only one on at that point, that Peter Columbotos is on that committee, and I called him a few months back to ask him if there had been any action, and he hadn't heard of any subsequent to that hearing they had many months ago. And I called him again this afternoon, and he said he thought it might be coming up next Wednesday.
Okay.
Kevin, do you have any questions about it? Seeing you missed that discussion about that. I mean, we'll talk about that abandonment issue in a minute, but just it was in the context of that discussion that we passed that resolution, which seems relevant to what we're talking about, what we're hearing from Melissa as well. So with that in mind, what do we want to do with respect to this proposal? Is it something we would like to support? Would we like to be a co-sponsor, or what's the term you use, Melissa? What does the form ask for?
The way it's phrased on the website is project sponsor / organization.
Project sponsor, okay.
And then you can select, it can be individual, group, or a town committee or board.
Okay, but you would, I mean, wouldn't your group actually be the sponsor? Or not, no?
Well, yeah, it's just, it's my understanding that we also need to also have the support of other
Okay,
committees
Right.
within the town, because we're a small neighborhood group.
yeah.
And we'd like to go forward with the strongest possible proposal, and this is one of the criteria that
Right,
they've
yeah, okay.
requested.
Yeah, I just didn't, I don't have the form right in front of me at the moment, and I
Yep.
wasn't sure exactly what the wording is, so. All right, well, I guess, Lauren, Kevin, do either of you want to express an opinion about this, or have you have further questions?
Yeah, I know I wasn't on the last meeting. Yeah, that was back in February. I did miss that meeting, I believe. I did miss that, right?
Yeah, you did, yeah.
Okay, I forgot if I went there or not, but yeah, I don't remember not going, but just because I did read it like half an hour before the meeting, of course, and everything. And I mean, I'm very much against this restaurant business because I think it's kind of ridiculous that they're going to squeeze it in this little area. And I don't see it. The restaurant industry is already fraught with risk anyways, because most of them go under within 3 years. But I know because my family was in the restaurant business for over 30 years. So, but I don't like the idea of a restaurant. So I'm very much in favor of keeping it as a natural area and having it be a nice area that people can go in and walk, sit down, relax, and actually enjoy the lakeside view there and have it be away from that busy road. I think I'm all in favor of that and keeping it in a natural state with minimal building on it, just to take down the vacant building and make it a nice path or something along those lines.
Okay, thank you, Kevin.
Yeah, I mean, I feel the same way that Bridgewater desperately needs more restaurants, and we've got all kinds of downtown walkable locations that would be perfectly served to be redeveloped into restaurant space. We don't need new restaurants that would be new construction in an environmentally sensitive area.
All right. Okay, so I agree. So I guess does someone want to make a motion to support? Tell us again, give us your name officially again, Melissa. So we can make a motion and don't get it wrong.
The
Lake
Lake
Nippennicket.
Nippennicket Action Focus Team.
All right, okay, and all right, let me back up a minute. I need help here too. I decided at the last meeting, I cannot keep track of all of this stuff, trying to keep track of the agenda and who's voting on what and who's in the chat room and who's sending chats. I need somebody to help me at least take records of who's voting on what. Lauren, could you do that for this meeting, please?
Sure.
Okay, and then just send it to me, because when I go to do the minutes, a week or so after this meeting, sometimes my notes are gibberish and I can't figure out who voted on what, and I'm pretty much guessing at that point. So when we're actually taking votes, I really need somebody.
All right. So what's the motion right now?
Yes, well, that's what we're trying to figure out.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, well, Lauren, you could make it if you'd like, and then you get to write it down and tell me who votes on it. Do you want to try it? I mean, I think it's just a motion of, of supporting. We want to be supportive of the Lake Nippennicket.
All right. So I make a motion for the Open Space Committee to be a supporting organization for the Lake Nippennicket action.
Focus
What's
Team.
Focus team. I had the FT and I couldn't think of what the FT was. LMAP.
Let's instead of an organization, let's call ourselves a committee. Can you amend?
Committee, yeah.
Okay. All right. So Lauren, or can you read this back to us?
Okay, so I make a motion for the Open Space Committee to be the supporting committee for the Lake Nippennicket Action
Focus group. Or
Focus
team.
Focus
Team.
Right.
Team.
Okay. Focus team. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Any discussion?
Just that we appreciate your support and that we agree with your point of view.
I guess I need a second too.
I second the motion. I mean, but I would like to maybe just make a quick edit to the motion,
Sure.
if we could.
Yeah.
I would just saying when we say support the focus team, that's kind of a little vague in my opinion. If we can maybe make it a little bit more specific and say the open space committee endorses the Lake NIP, I'm just gonna say the NIP focus team, into explore all natural options to enhance all options to enhance the natural affinity of the NIP itself,
The natural resources.
the natural resources.
Natural resources of the.
Keep it natural, keep it
All
in line with nature.
right. Let's hear that one back. Does someone have that written?
Could you also mention, and to support the application to the CPC?
Okay,
Yeah,
Yeah,
All right.
project application, community preservation committee. Yeah, that would be great.
And with the CPC, I'm also on the CPC as well.
Yeah.
But we just there's a form that I could send you the form if you need it, if you don't have it.
I have-
think
is it
that form- Melissa has that form, Kevin. I think it was in those materials we sent out.
Oh, was it?
The eligibility
Yeah,
form, I
is
think.
that the one you
That's
meant,
the-
Kevin? Yeah.
Yep,
yeah.
that's the one. Yep. I
Yep.
wasn't sure if you had it or
Yeah.
not, so.
Yeah,
And is
I
it-
do.
is
Thank
it the
you. Thank you.
Is it the, Kevin or Melissa, is it the eligibility form that we would put our names on as sponsors?
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
yes.
Okay,
Yep, there's a sponsor tab on that form. And then we gotta just put open space committee on that.
all right. Okay, let's try the motion one more time, as amended, multiple times.
all right.
Let's just call the team, let's call the Lake Nip team for now. We'll put in the right words when we put them in writing.
Well, I'm like trying to type here, so I have that
Oh,
part
yeah.
now. It's just now the verbiage. So,
We're here to help you. We're here to help.
all right.
No
So
pressure.
a motion for the open space committee to be the sponsoring committee to endorse the eligibility application for the Lake Nipponicket Action Focus Team. To
To ensure that.
ensure, I have,
How about
To-
their proposal, the team's proposal to,
okay, for team's proposal to
Ensure the vacant.
protect the,
Well, not-
yeah,
protect the natural resources of Lake Nipponicket.
to develop that area. Well, it's not just the whole lake. So we're just talking about that
the Lake
vacant property.
Nipponicket shoreline. How about
Yeah,
that?
Maybe Melissa, you could help them with this statement.
Could be to support the project application for the preservation of, you could get specific, the 2 acres of land, including 23 Lakeside Drive in Bridgewater, Mass, and adjacent parcels for preservation and recreation. It's, yeah.
You
I
get
like
that all
that.
down, Lauren?
no, that's perfect because the more specific we are,
Yeah,
the
no,
better.
I think that's good. Yeah, I think that's good.
Yeah.
All right, Melissa, give Lauren a chance to write it if you type
Of
it.
course.
Yeah.
Yep. So for support of the project application to the
Lauren, are you
CPC.
typing?
I'm sort of like this is different than what I had, because
Yeah,
before
okay.
I had to endorse the eligibility application. So we want to support the project application. What are you calling it?
Yeah,
It's
the
a
project
proposal.
application.
It's a
Proposal.
proposal. It's not really well, I guess.
I think proposal is good.
Okay.
Okay,
All right, so to support the project proposal of the
the team.
of the Lake Nipponicket Action Focus Team for the preservation of the 2 acres of land, including 23 Lakeside Drive, sorry.
Okay,
Okay, including 23 Lakeside Drive
and adjacent parcels.
in order to protect the natural resources of the Lake Nipponicket shoreline.
Do we want to say anything specifically about the proposal for a walking trail or anything, Melissa? I don't remember how specific that was, whether that was just alluded to or.
Could say with a view towards a preservation only scenario or preservation and recreation scenario. So those are
We could say for preservation or preservation and recreation.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
For preservation or and recreation.
Okay.
Okay,
All right.
Thanks, Lauren.
You want to read it one more time?
okay. So make a motion for the Open Space Committee to be the sponsoring committee to support the project proposal of the Lake Nipponicket Action Focus Team for the preservation of the 2 acres of land, including 23 Lakeside Drive and adjacent parcels, in order to protect the natural resources of the Lake Nipponicket shoreline for preservation or preservation and recreation.
Okay. We probably have one more, too many preservations in there, but I think it's good enough.
Yeah, probably.
Right, yeah.
Did you want to include the
Go ahead, I'm
CPC?
sorry.
Oh, yeah, so you had asked for the CPC application, so somewhere after proposal to the CPC,
Okay,
proposal to the Community Preservation Committee.
Is everyone frozen?
Nope.
no,
There you are.
All right. So who's making that motion?
I'll make the motion.
And I'll second the motion.
All right, any further discussion? All right. Lauren, Kevin, and I are all in favor, obviously, so it passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Okay,
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you. Thank you for doing the good
Thank you.
work. We really appreciate it.
We
That's-
appreciate your support. We really do.
Yeah,
thank you.
it's a team effort, so it's
all
good.
right, now stick around for the next item, everybody, because it's related. So if you'll see the next item on the agenda is, wait a minute, where's my agenda? Is Lake Nipponicket under old business. So if you go to pages 14 and 15 in the packet that you received from Josh McGraw, following up on the meeting that our committee had in February, where we discussed this abandonment proposal, which is addressing basically the same area right there at Lake Nip where the parking lot is. We discussed whether we should submit comments on that, and where we ended up was what I read earlier, and which is in the minutes from the February meeting, which is page 12 and 13 of that packet, where we said the Bridgewater Open Space Committee should take action, including submission of written or oral comments for any project under review by the town council or other town committees if the project is inconsistent with natural resource protection of Lake Nipponicket, an important open space resource. So following up on the action we took at that meeting, I drafted a letter, and that letter is in the packet, pages 14, 15, to the Community Economic Development Council. So Lauren and Kevin, do you see that?
Yep.
I think
Okay.
it's very well written, by the way. I
Alright.
read it twice.
And so what I said at the top of it, at the time, not knowing whether anything was going on about this, I said we wouldn't send it unless we found out that they were actually going to be taking this up. I didn't want to send it in 6 months ahead of time and it would just get lost. So it sounds like if they are in fact taking it up this week, it would be very timely. This would be a timely opportunity for us to submit that if the committee approves it. Lauren, have you had a chance to read it?
Yeah,
Okay,
I think it's good.
all right. So do one of you want to make a motion about submitting this, that you approve, that the committee approves submitting it to the Community and Economic Development Committee?
I'll raise a motion.
All right,
I propose that we send this letter as it is written to the Economic Development Town Council, or was it called the
it's the
Economic
Community and
Development
Economic Development Subcommittee, I think, but
Subcommittee?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, the Economic Development Subcommittee and the Town Council community,
okay,
as it's written, in just right away, right after we
Yeah.
approve
Okay.
it, as written.
Eileen, may I
Yes.
raise my hand? Can you accept public comment on this? I just looked at the agenda for the 25th and I see the
Oh.
retirement community on there.
oh.
I
This is for
don't
the
see the,
Community and Economic Development Council agenda you're talking about?
yeah, this is the town council subcommittee.
Subcommittee, yeah, okay,
I'm seeing on the agenda, the retirement community, which came up in the town council meeting about a month ago.
oh, the retirement construction they're proposing, out there at Claremont, is that what you mean?
Yeah, I don't see the abandonment
Oh,
here.
huh. Okay, well, I
Um,
wonder. Okay, well, then in that case, we probably what we got to do is that Kevin, rather than saying we submit it immediately, maybe we submit it prior to consideration by that committee of the proposed abandonment. And then I'll try to find out exactly what's going on, so Melissa, that agenda is already posted?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. It's May 25th.
Huh.
And what they want to do is they want to amend the zoning for the planned development district to include a retirement community.
Mhm.
But I don't see anything about abandonment of Lakeside Drive on this.
Okay. All right, well, why don't if we could just go ahead and approve it, and then, under the direction to submit it in a timely fashion, when it's, prior to their consideration, and I'll try to find out what I can about when it comes up again. I mean, it may not be inappropriate to send it right now if they do have a Claremont item on their agenda. That might be just as well, rather than to wait and, trying to keep track of when they might put it on again. And so,
Wait, so I just had a quick question on that. Why do we need to wait again? What committee is?
well, for instance, when we talked about this back in February, I didn't want to submit it then in case let's say it didn't come up on their agenda till June. I just figured it would get lost in the shuffle. Nobody would even remember that they'd read it or they'd seen it. And so I thought, from what Peter Columbotus had told me today, that they were going to be considering it next Wednesday, but from what Melissa's saying, they are considering a Claremont proposal, but nothing directly related to this abandonment issue.
Okay.
So, I mean, yeah, I'd be interested in anybody's view as to whether it'd be better to just go ahead and get it in now, or whether it'd be more appropriate to try to get it timed when this is actually on their agenda for consideration again. I don't really know.
One thing that my husband noticed is there's a second bullet item on that agenda, which is vague. I haven't seen it. I'm just speaking for him. Also, it's possible that Claremont will bring both up if they're in front of that committee.
Okay,
So I think you're on the right track to check whether or not that's going to happen as part of that meeting, even if it hasn't been announced.
okay. All right, so, yeah, I guess it makes sense to just go ahead and send it in. If it isn't heard, then I guess there's no reason we can't just send another copy at another time.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so Kevin, I think, well, your motion stands. Lauren, did you second? I don't remember.
Yes, second.
All right, so all those in favor of sending the letter as written immediately?
Yes.
All right, Lauren, and obviously, yes, I agree. Okay. All right,
And Eileen, it was very well written, by the way. I just wanted to give you, just to let you know,
thank you.
I thought it was very well done.
I thought so too, just as a member of the public.
Okay, good.
I love your owl on your background there. I think it looks
Thank you. It's a
like
snowy owl.
Oh,
see?
the snowy owl, I saw that too, yeah. That's gorgeous, yeah.
I'm a photographer.
You are a photographer, oh, huh. Where was that picture taken?
It was actually taken on the shoreline up north, one of the at Salisbury.
Okay, yeah, I wondered, I saw one up there on Plum Island once, a snowy owl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's definitely part of, actually this year they have been on pretty much all coastal lines, all coastal areas. There's a huge amount of them this year. Some of them, Salisbury one, I think it still stayed around, still here.
Great. All right, so let's see, now the other old business is, this is all much more perfunctory now. I'm glad we've gotten the important stuff done. That was why I was so anxious to have a quorum tonight.
Could I interrupt for 1 second? Eileen,
Yep.
I'd like to see your letter at some point.
Oh.
packet.
Well, Pat, it was in the agenda.
Oh, it's one of the subsequent pages.
Yeah, so it's like there's 15 pages attached to the agenda that Josh
Yeah.
posted on the,
Thank you.
and so if you just scroll down, it's on page, the letter is actually on pages 14 and 15 of that agenda packet.
Thank you.
Okay.
It should be in a separate email from Josh, just like Eileen said.
Okay, so I just wanted to give a report that one of the things you approved in one of the last couple meetings is we submitted letters in support of grant applications for the old State Farm Trail that Kitty Doherty is working on over off of Summer Street. I got that one in, and then we also approved sending one in for Stiles and Hart, but I didn't get that one done with my personal issues going on. I just dropped that one and didn't get back to it until after the grant had already been submitted. So, and I talked to Steve Sobel, and I mean, it didn't matter. You know, they have plenty of letters of support. So, and this is a big grant for Stiles and Hart, and I guess there's even some question that it might be moved up to a federal application at some level from the National Park Service or the maybe the National Wild and Scenic Rivers, because it's a Taunton tributary. I'm not sure, but anyway. Wyman Meadows, there's, again, I mean, I haven't done any much work on anything in the last 2 months other than just get this agenda together. And I did talk to Scott McFadden though about this, and one of the things we're looking at, he's what's with Wildlands Trust, and if you recall, this Wyman Meadows property is adjacent to the Wildlands Trust property. And we're hoping that a trail can be built that will help the town use its property for them to gain access to their property. And it'll doing a trail that will combine the two of them, because the town property is a lot of its wellhead protection area. So it couldn't be a lot of hiking in that area, but it could be used very valuably to allow Wildlands Trust have greater access. But one of the things we're also looking at now, I got an idea from Kitty Doherty to try to look at some other properties around that, both the Wildlands Trust and the town property. There's a landowner that we're thinking about contacting to see if we could acquire some additional land to connect with that, with waterfront on the Taunton. So that's, that could be even one further element of that project that would be really nice to expand into. So, and then I haven't talked with Eric Boyer, who did the virtual tour for us a few meetings ago. He and I have exchanged phone calls, but I know they had designs kind of in mind, and I think it's just a question of, at some point we would have to go to the Conservation Commission to get them to approve it, because it would be some kind of a trail going through a wetland and the town's property. And I talked to Steve Sobel about that, and he of course is the staff to the Conservation Commission, and he doesn't seem to think it would be a big deal, that it should go through fairly easily. So I think the next step is just for me to talk with Eric and, find out how we go about putting together a proposal and seeing what it takes to get it approved. So any questions about that, or everybody know what I'm talking about? Okay. I actually, Lauren, all of your information, as you saw, was included in that. I wasn't really intending that, but I think because the link to it was in the February agenda, Josh just went ahead and sent it out, which is a good thing. If anybody hasn't looked at it yet, look at it again. Have you gotten any comments from anyone?
I didn't get any comments, and so since Josh has it, I think it's probably time to ask to have it be posted on the website.
So here's the thing. So I asked Steve Sobel, so how do we go about getting this posted on the website? And it's not going to be easy, of course. He said, well, every committee or every department is in charge of its own website. So our committee needs to figure out where we would like to see it. And then we have to go to the department and get them to do it. So it's not like we can go to one person in the town and they will be in charge of it.
Yeah.
So I think maybe, Lauren, what your charge should be next is to take a look at the town website and see where you think it should go. And of course, it's not going to be just one place, there should be all sorts of links. So maybe if you can kind of make a map of what you think, where it should be, and then work backwards to what departments that's involved would have to be involved. And then Josh would be a good person to talk with, I think, just because he's very helpful. I don't know how much he's involved in these issues, posting things, but he would be a good person to talk to. But I think it's probably incumbent on our committee to say where we think the public would look for this.
Sure.
And where we'd like to see it, how many places, and then and the other thing I thought about this too is, so I thought about doing some wordsmithing on it, and then I figured, well, no, because if we have to do, if every department has to approve it, they may all want a hand in what it says. I don't know, but I'm just wondering if someone's going to say, oh, well, no, we don't want to say it that way. We want to do it this way, or no, we want to, it has to be this long, or it has to be this short, or it has to be in this format. I have no idea, but it just seems like we probably don't want to go to them with an absolutely perfect document, but let them, that may be part of the strategy to get them to approve it, All right, well, we need your help, rewrite this in some way that it'll fit into your department's jargon or your format or whatever.
Yeah, under, I would think the natural place would be under community parks and facilities, because, that would be where you would think people would go to look for parks. And they've got a little listing for Legion Field, the golf course, and Scotland Field. So I don't know if they'd be willing to expand it to these open spaces.
Yeah,
But
that's a good question. And if you want to do some of that reconnoitering and bring it back to this committee,
Yeah.
You can do that, or if you want to just start talking to somebody, whether Josh might be a good person to talk to first, but
Yeah.
I don't know, but he maybe could tell you who within each department is in charge of their website. I don't know where.
Yeah.
Really.
And
Oh,
then,
one other thing that somebody suggested to me, that I know last year when they organized the Juneteenth, I don't know, did anyone go to the Juneteenth festival at Ironworks Park? Pat, you were there, weren't you? No, okay, well, all right.
Was that
Well,
Eileen?
some-
Oh,
Kevin?
sorry, I don't mean to stop you. Sorry. Was that last year? Because
Yeah,
June.
it was
Okay, I
last
thought you were
year,
talking about this
yeah.
year because that's coming
Yeah,
up.
no, this year it's gonna be at the Unitarian Universalist Church parking lot. But one of the problems last year, I know they had setting it up at Ironworks, is the requirements to use a park were not apparent anywhere. Like they had to call the police, they had to call the fire department, they had to call about the process of getting a tent, they had to call the Board of Health. And there wasn't any information on the website saying that. So it's almost like it'd be nice to have some uniform information for every parkland saying, oh, by the way, if you want to have a Boy Scout sleepover, this is who you have to contact. Or maybe if you can't do that sort of thing at Carver Pond, then if you want to have if you want a fire, if you want a cookout or something, you have to have a permit. So that it would at least be useful to have something for each one of those parks that would help somebody figure out who they have to.
yeah, I mean, oh, go ahead.
There is some information, I think, under Conservation Commission,
Yeah,
parks
Yeah.
and permits that are required,
yeah,
right?
I think that's right, Pat, but is that a place where the public goes? if they
No,
Want to go to a park,
Nobody-
so,
where to go.
yeah. Yeah, and I think that's a big issue because Lauren, this information that Lauren has here it's already been up there someplace. Where was it, Lauren? It was in an archive, I think, for the NRTB.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was there and it just got buried and lost. So it's like somehow we have to put it in multiple places so that it's not just in one place, so that if somebody has a question, they don't have to know
Yeah.
precisely the right question about every park,
I mean, or maybe I don't know if there's like sort of turf wars, but even if the park and recreation, because they've got like their main page has a section for golf, a section for parks, and a section for recreation, which is all like the youth sports leagues. So if they'd even be willing to just have a open space link and it takes people to the conservation page in the website, and then we could put this information there, then at least people would have a way to find that in sort of like the natural place to go if you're looking for where to go outside in Bridgewater.
Yeah, and that reminds me of something too. I guess we do have a new Parks and Recreation director. And my understanding is, I got an email this week from Brooke Condon, who's the administrative assistant for that committee, the Parks and Recreation Committee. And she was asking me what I knew about who the stewards were, if any, for the various parklands. And so I sent her some information about what I knew. But I do feel like maybe they're going to be taking a broader look at their role right now in Parks and Recreation, and that it's probably a good time. I think I'm going to try to get on one of their meetings one of these days, because I'd like to find out if they are taking a different approach, whether the new person is going to be focused on anything different than Charlie Simon was, who was pretty much focused on the sports and the, what you've just mentioned, Lauren, what's on that website is what he was focused on.
Right.
But maybe they are going to be looking at parks, because they were talking about expanding their role at one time. Maybe they will be looking at the park lands, is what I'm trying to say. And the other thing I think to think about too, if I'm new to town and I want to find Carver Pond, I'm probably not going to look for open space.
Right.
I'm going to look for a park. You
Yeah,
know, I mean, most people, we talk open space, but most people, they want to take their kids for a short walk, or they just want to get out in the woods. Well, maybe just get out in the woods, you might think of open space, but if you want to find a park, then you're looking for parks. So it seems like under Parks and Recreation has to work with us some way on this. Anyway, but it's, as you can see, you know, it's going to be a can of worms, guaranteed.
yeah.
Well,
All right.
it really touches on everything, right? Like, you know, open space can be, you know, conservation, parks. And so I think that's a great idea to have it in all different
Yeah,
parts of the website, especially because, yeah, when a new family comes in and they don't know where to, they're gonna go to the town website and find all this stuff out.
Yeah.
So if it's in as many departments as,
Yeah.
that would be the best thing
yeah.
for sure.
And didn't they hire a new park steward?
All right, well, that's the next thing I was gonna say. No, they haven't. And in fact, it's no longer in the budget even.
Oh, I thought they took care of that.
No, I mean, I know they tried, you know, they posted that just before COVID, and I think they had somebody who applied. And I don't know whether I think they offered it. I think I heard they had offered it to somebody and the person turned it down.
I think
And
they
then
offered
weren't
it.
getting any applicants for a long time. I mean, it was just a half-time position. And now I understand from Steve, I didn't check into this any further than that, is that it's been taken out of the budget in the future. And I don't know why. And I mean, I don't know whether maybe I'm hoping maybe they're saying that Parks and Recreation is gonna, maybe that's why Brooke was asking me about who the stewards were. Maybe they're gonna actually try to work with the stewards or set them up and with some help. I don't know. But it was disappointing to hear that, because I mean, that, you know, that was a real coup when we finally got that position in the budget, and now to hear that it's been taken out. And plus, nobody ever told us, you know. It seems like it would have been nice if this committee had known that. And I don't know, I haven't talked with Kitty Doherty. She was the one who pushed that
Right.
with the city council, and I haven't had a chance to find out what she knows about it, but anyway. So that's about all I know. But anyway,
They might bring it back. You know, I think after, now that COVID's thankfully passing through, you know, it's kind of over. I think it's pretty safe to, but I know it's a bigger wave.
it's not
coming,
over,
but
Kevin.
It's not over. I don't want to go there, but but now that the main storm really went through, I think they're probably gonna, I would imagine they would repost it again, because it is still a priority for.
Oh, do you think they might
I think.
repost it? Oh, well, that would be nice, but it's got to be in the budget for them to post it. So that's what I don't, you know, that's what I
Of
heard.
course. Of course. And I think the budget resets in June. So I think that's,
Oh,
it's
okay.
in the middle of summer, so, or the beginning of
Okay.
summer.
Maybe you could get it back in.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else on that? Lauren, any other questions you have, or you feel like you can just start?
Just start emailing people. I'll
Yeah.
email Brooke and maybe start from there.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, good. I put a tree committee report on, but no, Nicole isn't here, but who did I just talk to today? Oh, Pat. Yeah. Pat, you were the one who told me that Ray Jemian from the planning board has been trying to follow up on the tree committee, because Nicole reported to us the last time that it was kind of dead in the water, that it had gotten to be more complicated than initially contemplated, and anyway, nothing was happening on it. But it is something I know that the planning board wants to see, because they want to incorporate it into their requirements for different developments. And Ray Jemian is on the planning board, and Pat mentioned that he's trying to light a fire under the town staff to get it moving. So we'll see if anything comes of that. And it sounded like, I don't know, Nicole sent an email out to everybody. It sounds like she's pretty busy right now. It sounded like it might be a few months before she can get engaged with the committee again. So our committee, hope she can do tree committee, but we'll see. All right, nothing really for me to report on Hanson Farm. Again, I haven't been around much, so, and I did talk with Bob Hanson a week or two ago, and he said not much has been going on either. There's a list of tasks that everybody's supposed to be performing, and that not a lot has happened, but I talked to the person at Wildlands Trust who's been working with us on this too, but as he said, the good thing about this project is it's not like we're under a real timeline. You know, the Hansons are committed to it. The town seems to be committed to it. It seems like it's gonna happen. So yes, things are moving slowly, but it doesn't seem like we're in a situation where we have to worry about some developer coming in and taking it out from under us. So anyway, I'm losing my voice. I've been talking too much. Anybody else have anything for the good of the order? Nope.
I'm just happy that that we actually got to meet again. You know, it's been too long, and
Right, yeah.
it's good to see everybody.
Yeah.
Lauren, is your email on the list for the Zoom meetings and everything like that?
I didn't get that email from Josh that you guys were talking about. Like, I get like the notifications and I get emails from Eileen. So there may be some emails that I'm left off of.
Oh,
Well, you're on the committee now, right?
Yeah.
she's been on for a while. So do you get anything from Josh McGraw?
I've gotten emails from him in the past, but I didn't get that packet that you were talking. Like, I thought you meant the agenda, which I got that packet.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. I think maybe.
Okay, you know, Laura, maybe I think Kevin may have stated it more correctly that maybe what Josh, well, maybe is you have to go to the town agenda center to get that whole link. So, you know, he sends out the link.
Yeah, that's what I did.
That's what you did. And you didn't get that whole like 15 pages?
Well,
I
went to the town agenda. I went to the town agenda center to get the link and the agenda for today. I didn't
Yeah.
get it emailed to me directly.
Okay, all right. All right, well, I'll check on that. I'll see, because I think he did send something out to the committee first, but then part of what he does is he posts it.
And I've gotten past emails from him, so that's why I thought that I had initially gotten what you guys were talking about.
Yeah, all right, well, let me just check and see.
I know that's kind of random for me to bring up. I was just looking at the email trail, and Lauren, I know you're on the committee now and everything, so I just want to make sure you're getting everything that we're getting too. It should be all together for Josh. And I think you just got to send an email to Josh and say, I'm on this committee. Can
Oh,
you
yeah,
please
no,
include
she's
me?"
been on for, no, she's been on for a long time. She's been getting them, she said, right? You said you've got.
Yeah, I've gotten past emails from him, so that's why I would have no reason to think that I'm not getting stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I'm just gonna
okay.
look at what he sent out and see, because I looked and I'm sure you were all on it, but you know, whether, I don't know, whether we could have got it spelled wrong or something, I don't know, but I'll check.
Okay.
The next meeting, June 16th. And as far as I know, I mean, from what Josh said, we're going to continue to do Zoom. Some other committees are going to in person and even hybrid, I guess. But I think what he told me a long time ago, I didn't really ask this time, is they have technical difficulties doing that it's hard to do hybrid meetings. It's hard to have good sound connections, both in the meeting and through Zoom. So I think for the foreseeable future, it sounds like we'll continue to do this, so.
If I can touch on that a little bit. If you
Oh,
don't
okay,
mind.
yeah. Yeah,
Um,
what's the CPC doing, Kevin?
Well, yeah, on the CPC side at the moment, we I think it was 2 meetings ago, we actually voted if we wanted to stay virtual or
Oh,
go into the academy building, you know?
uh-huh,
And we actually have that choice. So it was up to us to decide what we wanted to do. We could still do Zoom or go into the academy. And most people, it's funny, most people voted to stay on Zoom.
oh, really? Huh.
Because I imagine it's a lot more convenient to just
Yeah,
click a button, but I think it's one or the other, really.
right.
I wish
okay,
I wish it was half and half, because I think that'd be even better. But from my understanding, it's one or the other. But we do, I believe all committees have the option to go in person as well.
Okay, interesting. All right, thank you. What would your preference be, Lauren and Kevin, if we are given the choice? Or if we, I mean, it sounds like we do have the choice.
I'm happy to stick with Zoom. I think it makes things a little easier.
Yeah. I am too, I think.
Zoom's cool. I mean, it's cool. You can hang out at your own house. I mean, that's nothing's better than that, right? But I do wish that we could get together and be because then it's like in person, at least, I don't know, every other meeting or
Yeah,
something.
well, what we
But I
need
know
to
that's
do
not
is
an
start setting up some field trips that we could get together. Now that it's
Field
nice
trips would be cool.
Yeah,
for
okay,
sure.
all right.
At least I think so.
All right, I think that's it. Anything else anybody has to say before we adjourn at 8:07? Oh, and Lauren, you're gonna send me the votes, right?
Yep, I will send you the votes.
Okay.
Easy this week.
Yeah, well, yeah, but that motion wasn't
Yeah.
wasn't easy, so. All right, okay, thank you.
Do we have a field trip coming up for anything?
No, we don't. Would you like to
No.
have one? Any place you want to go?
Well, I'd love to hear what happened out west with you, of
Oh,
course.
right.
But
Yeah.
it's one of my favorite parts of the country. I've been there many
Yeah.
times, but
Yeah, it was the Southern National, the national parks in Southern Utah. They were fabulous.
it's beautiful out there.
Yeah, yeah.
For sure.
Bryce and Zion and Canyonlands, Capitol Reef. Yeah, great.
Is Wyman Meadows open at this time? It's
Oh,
open.
yeah, it's
right?
always open. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that will probably be our next field trip if Eric can come out and kind of show us where the trail would be going. The problem, and well, this might be a good time too, because it's dry. Part of the issue was hiking out there is difficult because it's really wet. He was trying to do it in the winter, and then I don't know that it ever really froze enough. But maybe now, because we haven't had much rain, it might be more easily, and because all the grass isn't really tall yet either, that this might be a good time. So when I hear back from him, maybe we can set something up.
I agree. I think it'd be, I mean, in the wintertime, it's never a good time for really to go
Yeah.
out because then people don't want to go out.
Yeah, I mean, it really would be nice to get out and see something. I mean, we are the open space committee after all, so.
Well, I'm for it.
All
You know.
right. Okay, thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you.
bye-bye.
Bye.
Ooh, nice.